Kitbashing. The time-honored tradition of taking 2 or more plastic model kits and smushing their bits together until a new plastic model kit is created. Invented by Stanley Kubrick to make scale models more quickly for his one space movie that nobody likes, kitbashing has since been capitalized on by the free market, with companies such as Games Workshop encouraging the practice in their intellectual property policy. I've never attempted a kitbash myself in my 5-ish years building model kits, since according to the internet, I am bad at building model kits. Which is fine, because I'm having more fun than they are being miserable on Facebook all the time. Nevertheless, a whopping 3 people asked me to do a kitbashing video. So, here we are. Having never actually dug into references or searched for kitbashes online from prestigious competitions or bothering to check the connection points of certain limbs or other things, I decided that my kitbash should include unique, interesting kits with engineering ahead of its time. Because the best way to honor innovation is by exploiting it for your own personal gain. Which is why the base of our kitbash is this. The 1/100 scale Gundam F90 ADS from 1990. Within the Gundam mythos, the F90 was an experiment in developing smaller mobile suits. In universe, this was achieved by the use of micro-honeycomb structures and a more efficient fusion reactor. It was also compatible with various mission packs, so they call them, similar to the more recent narrative Gundam and its additional packs. In the real world, this just means that Bandai can slap the 1/100 scale designation on a kit no bigger than a high grade, while allowing them to put additional accessories and things out on the market for the completed kit. Cynical capitalistic endeavors aside, the F90 Gundam kit did feature something brilliant. Multi-layer system injection molding. A unique manufacturing process that allows engineers to incorporate multiple colors or materials into a single part on a single runner, rather than using multiple runners and parts to create the same effect. Also known as two-shot or overmolding, the process is often used to create different texture or performance characteristics for molded manufacturing materials, without the need for multiple assembly steps. When they released the F90 over 30 years ago, it was likely nothing short of magical. Which makes this bit of Gunpla history perfect for our kitbash. It's like a 20-year-old dead moth in here. Well, let's get started. Let's see, so it has us do the feet one at a time. There's not a lot to this kit. There's only, what? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 runners? That's it? No, I only have 7 freaking runners. I think I'm making this more complicated than it needs to be. I've been using a big VHS rack as a runner holder, and it's worked really well for that purpose. And it occurs to me that there are probably people in this audience that either have never owned VHS tapes or legitimately don't know what they are. See, VHS tape is a media format that was used to physically store video. We didn't have that fancy schmancy YouTubes back in the day. Old plastic loves to leave nub marks. Ugh, look at that. Look at that. There's where the camera is. Look at that. It's terrible. I hate it. You're really gonna see it in that glorious 4K resolution. Like, I almost feel like it's a little too simple. Like, it's simple to the point that it's confusing me. Now we get to use the fancy system-injected, molded runner thing. So this is a unique feature. Check this out. Not only are the parts not undergated, but they're actually molded in to the other colors. So not only are you getting nub marks, but you're also getting nub marks of a different color. That's something. Again, clearly a mark of quality and refinement, just like this flash. Just like this flash right here. Of course, a kitbash is not really a kitbash without another kit to, bash. But since the gimmick I settled on was the multi-layer injected nature of the F90, my options were limited. The technique is used in other kits, sure, but normally for things like inner frames and small detail parts. If I wanted a kitbash that would accentuate this gimmick, I would need to get creative. Which is why we settled on this. The figurized Labo Fumina Hoshino. Hoshino? I have no freaking idea. Part of a brand new line from Bandai, the Labo Fumina also features multi-layer injection, utilizing different levels of opacity as well as different colors to recreate subtle tone shifts for the kit's various appendages. More impressively, it also allows the engineers to mold the figure's eyes in multicolored plastic, rather than relying on cheap stickers. These fine details would normally take hours to recreate with a paintbrush and other supplies, but here, Bandai provides it all for you. All for the pauper's sum of 60 American dollars. Thereabouts. So, with our Kitbash companion in our possession, it was time to push forward with the Kitbash and prove that even with minimal experience, any model maker can create their own multi-model masterpiece. How hard could it be? Didn't get quite as much done with this last time as I wanted to. Now, before I start working on the other parts of the Kitbash, I need to fully assemble the limbs on the F90. And I'm not sure what you mean by cursed, by the way. All I can think of is how beautiful and perfect this is going to look like when it's all done. And if I'm not mistaken, there's like 3 more steps in this. Oh, wait a minute. Does this have the parts to make all of these? I'm not even playing this up for the camera, look. I'm just realizing that like the dark green here is this entire runner sitting off to the side, right? And the blue is like these 2 ones. Oh, that.
So is there 3 kits?
No, it's all one kit, but you can make it in 4 different ways. They really don't break down these steps very much. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 parts in step 3. This one goes first. Hold on. Fingers ain't that fat. Come on. All right, shoulder armor is done. I actually came across this kit on, of all places, Craigslist. Just so happened to stumble across a guy that was selling literally 40 or 50 of these kits. And they were all old and out of print. I got a Fei Yen vinyl kit from the 90s. I got this from 1990. They don't exactly make these anymore. So what we're really working with here is not just an important first kit bash, but actual plastic model kit history. It's very quiet. There's no music. There's no music, there's no other sound in this house. I'm reluctant to go on a voice chat channel because I'll just be quickly swarmed by people telling me that what I'm doing is a terrible idea, when in reality what I'm doing is the perfect first kit bash. Eventually I relucted, and I did join a voice chat channel. However, I may have forgotten to record the other side of the conversation, so yes. To start with. No, it doesn't. It looks creepy. I never claimed that I was a professional video person. I never claimed that I went to school for this stuff. I've never claimed in my life that I know what I'm doing. And you see, the nice thing about the current socio-political climate is I can just say these things over and over again and they magically become true. Well, I haven't driven a pickup truck since I learned how to drive. I learned how to drive in my dad's old S10. And I go to U-Haul, I rent this truck, and it's like a Silverado heavy duty thing. Like I'm sitting in this thing and it's like I'm trying to drive an Abrams tank. Like April's calling me. I can barely see over the hood. I am 6 foot tall and I can't barely see over the freaking hood of this thing. Six trying to call me and like, where were you at with the dresser and everything? And like I pick up the phone, it's like, I am literally trying to navigate a battle cruiser right now. Please call me back later. It was a nightmare. So after listening to my one-sided ramblings for an hour, one member of our family had enough. Well, that's different though. That's a car, right? So like you're closer to the ground. Like I used, my first car was a 1992 Buick LeSabre, right? Like I grew up with a boat and I loved that car. It was super comfy. But like cause it's in a car, you're like closer to the ground and you can see where the lanes are. When you're in a heavy duty Silverado, why are you thumping, Evie? Lovey, Evie's upset. I'm sorry, Evie. Evie Buns! Oh my god! About another hour and one very pissed off rabbit later, we finally got the limbs done. The next day, it was time for the bashing. Without the voice chat this time. Somebody told me the other day that me kind of growing my hair out a little bit, that'll look nice, so we'll try no hat today. Okay, where the hell? Got arms, hair, very heavy legs. We got sand. We got sand effects. We've got that. We got that. Oh boy. And got some eyeballs. Do you ever feel like you made a colossal mistake? Figurize Labo Miku. Really not a lot to this kit. Although I am impressed by the level of system injected molding. Like, look at this face, right? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 different colors going on in this one part. And what this does is, take for example this red. That just gives a little bit more lively tone to the face instead of it being just pure plastic. You can actually see just a little bit of that red, like say in like the cheek here, and in the hollowed out eyes. You can see a lot of red in here because we haven't put, eyes in there yet. Although I love how they still wanted this to feel like a kit from 1990 because they pre-package this with a huge seam line going down the entire leg. See, when this came out, there was a lot of discussion and controversy over this model kit. In fact, I know that discussion of it has even been barred from some larger plastic model enthusiast groups. And I can see why. Take a look at how much excess waste is on this runner. You have 1, 2, 3, 4 colors, which is great and all, but look at all this extra negative space. Look at all of this extra plastic that's never going to get used. That's gonna end up in a landfill for 75 years. I don't know if you've heard, Bandai, but we're in a climate crisis. Shameful. I'm a little weary about cutting these nubs off, just because this is a much glossier plastic. With it being this glossy, when you cut the little nubs off, it's gonna leave much more obvious marks. Thankfully, a lot of these seams are gonna be covered up by the more fleshy bits. I do feel like it was a really smart and very big-brained idea to make my first Kitbash have the same engineering gimmick throughout each of the used kits. So I figure, you know, we got the F90, it's got system injection, we've got the Labo Fumino, and it's got system injection. But these connection points are a little bit different than I had expected. Having only 20 or so parts, it only took about an hour to finish up the rest of this kit. The result of which was a finished product that was very much not for me. Which is why after a short break, it was time to get bashing. For real this time. You see one problem right off the bat. It's not exactly the same scale. Maybe. Can we maybe do something? No. This is doable. This is absolutely doable. Yeah. That almost fits naturally, I was gonna say. So I think what we'll do is that we will just let this whole torso just kind of rest on top. So we need to cut away a whole bunch of stuff in the middle here.
What is that?
Don't worry about it. Why?
You're not chopping up a $60.
Then I can't do the Kitbash!
So what you're gonna do is you're going to ruin that completely, and then you're gonna be upset,
I won't.
and you're gonna be like, I'm not doing this video anymore. Okay.
It's fine.
Okay.
I love you. Oh, the battery died. Not content to just let the thing charge like a normal person, I again made do with what I had. And what I did have was lots and lots of plastic cement. Cement this head in. Okay, so that basically means that these are out. If I can just get it to stay together for like 15 minutes, we'll be fine. 15 minutes later, we were ready. What you see before you is the culmination of 5 years of model making experience. All that was left was to get one more seal of approval before we finished this project.
So you ruined the butt.
I didn't ruin the butt! No, he didn't. The Dremel died. It's all fine.
How did the Dremel die?
Because it's battery powered and the Dremel died. Just admit you're impressed.
Uh-oh.
Well, since my genius would not be recognized for what it was time for another trip to the local hobby shop to look for alternatives. And luckily, we found one. The figurized Labo Miku. Based on the physical manifestation of a software program, the Labo Miku features many of the same hallmarks of the Labo Fumina, such as multi-layer injection molding and a range of opacity. But unlike the Fumina, it is less likely to raise questions when your local utility company comes to collect on your unpaid electric bill, since all of your money went to a $70 text-to-speech avatar. The Labo Miku is not cheap. But what you get for that cash and resulting collections letter is nothing short of an engineering triumph. The detail and overall design of the Miku Labo is undeniably brilliant, especially these incredible hair effects, which are some of my favorite individual parts of a model kit I've ever had the pleasure of working with. One of the members of my community likened their swirling aesthetic to that of the Pagani Huayra, an Italian supercar named after a South American god of wind. Impressive, since I wasn't the one describing model kits with car analogies for once. Each of Miku's twin tails are made up of several parts overlapping one another, with a matching translucent gradient that gets subtly more clear as they flow out from her head. That level of engineering in these parts is worthy of considerable praise, since these parts, remember, are not painted. That means Bandai's Skunk Works figured out a way to control the opacity of parts as the mold is being filled. There's also multiple levels of gloss finish used throughout the kit, where soft, semi-matte finishes give way to dazzling high gloss on her outfit. Even the outfit itself uses different finishes, with subtle variations from her skirt up to her top. Frankly, no matter what your thoughts are on the design or whether having a cute anime app waifu on your shelf is right for you, you have to appreciate the intricate level of care that went into this collector's item. And when you think about it that way, as a collectible statue you assemble rather than a model kit, the product line starts to make more sense. Where the Labo Fumina felt like a money grab targeted at teenagers, the Labo Miku compares better to something like this high-end Vash the Stampede figure than it does another model kit. Figure collection is as old as fandom itself, but if you go to any anime, gaming, or similar convention, you'll be hard-pressed to find a detailed collector's item like this that costs less than triple digits. The Labo Miku fits this niche very well then, providing a high-quality collectible for much less than the competition, with the caveat that some assembly is required. Personally, I would love to see this product line grow, but there is a small problem. The figurized Labo Miku is useless for kitbashing, because I like it too much to take it apart and slather it with plastic cement for a laugh. It's a beautiful addition to my collection as is, and I can't recommend it enough for someone looking for a unique, non-mecha model for their hobby collection. So I might be stuck with a bizarre homunculus of 2 generations of engineering, but I can't deny that I had fun making my little trash goblin. It should make a great companion piece on the shelf with my Thunderman and nail polish Barbatos. And really, as long as you're having fun making your bad Gunpla, that's all that really matters. See you next time.